Hogan is back on the stand again today at the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture. Proceedings were adjourned yesterday due to power outages. Hogan is expected to continue her testimony on activities in state-owned enterprises and interference in the appointment of board members and senior managers. Yesterday, she told the State Capture Commission that former President Jacob Zuma interfered at Eskom as he preferred CEO Jacob Moroka. On Monday, Hogan revealed how she was put under pressure to appoint Siyabonga Gama as Transnet head. Hogan also told how she was dismissed from her post and redeployed to Finland as South Africa's ambassador without any explanation from the former president. Now, the Commission has meanwhile granted an order that Minister Pravin Gordhan's evidence be heard on Monday next week. Okay, let's get more on this story now. Our senior reporter Mzwandile Mbeje is live for us in Parktown, Johannesburg. Hey, Mzwai, thank you very much indeed for joining us. It was another day of extremely interesting testimony by the former Public Enterprise Minister, wasn't it?
Indeed, Blaine, it was very interesting, and then we expect part of the testimony to continue today. But of course, she's not the only one today who will be speaking to the Commission. Mzwandile Mbeje, who once headed GCIS, will also be here. Interestingly, Blaine, is that in her evidence, Barbara Hogan did mention the name of Mzwandile Mbeje, but she then apologized because she had erroneously mentioned the name of Mr. Mbeje. But with me, Blaine, is the witness who will take the stand later today, Mzwandile Mbeje. So you are here. I know we can't talk about the details yet because you will talk about the details of the Commission. But perhaps the first question on the erroneous mentioning of your name by Barbara Hogan.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think you just made a mistake yourself in the intro. You said she apologized. She hasn't. She withdrew the mention. So right now the outstanding part is apology, and I seek an apology from her. And I really think that this is actually part of a strategy, that some of us that need just to be dropped off names every time in this kind of a commission, just to taint your name. So this is a well-orchestrated strategy. It's a deliberate mistake that was done. It's a deliberate, not mistake, it's a deliberate act that was done with the hope that I'm just going to maybe just ignore it, but it's a build-up. Another one is going to come and just mention, you get casually mentioned. At the end of the day, all these mentions, they amount to you are corrupt. So it's a real strategy which is very distasteful. So Barbara Hogan must apologize for lying under oath, because she mentioned my name under oath. It's a written statement, so something that just came out of the mouth, a well-thought-out thing that she had actually written, so she must apologize.
Also, what form of apology do you need? Do you need public apology? Do you need to make an apology here? So what sort of apology are you looking forward to?
Public apology, she can do it here. She's still coming here. She had the same platform where she was tabling her mischievous utterance in terms of the affidavit that she had deposited here. She must use the same platform to apologize. If she doesn't do that, she can even issue a statement. But bottom line is that there must be a public apology to underscore the fact that the shenanigans she was trying to pull did not pay off.
I'm sure you would communicate with her to make sure that that apology happens. But perhaps let's come to you. You are here today. You have been mentioned before, and some of those who mentioned you did not withdraw. So you will have the opportunity to state your side of the story. So what can we look forward to as you rebut some of those statements that have been made against you?
The truth and nothing but the truth. In fact, what I have done, I brought here a lot of, the judge has been very patient with people and saying to people that don't come here with hearsay, don't come here with newspaper stuff and what you heard, bring evidence. So what I'm hoping to do today is to bring hard evidence. Everything I say will be backed up by evidence. So I'm not going to be making empty statements and waffling here. I'm here to present concrete evidence to make up whatever point I want to make. There's no fundamental point I'll be making here that will not be backed up by evidence. So that's what I'm all going to be doing here, is to say this is what happened, this is evidence. This is what happened, this is evidence. This is what I'm hoping to do.
Of course, it's common cause that you had relations with the Guptas. So I guess this platform will provide with an opportunity really to explain to South Africans, because when they folded, they sold to you their entities.
Well, look, I have nothing today relating to that, but if anybody wants to know anything, I actually have nothing to hide. I don't hide that I met the Guptas. It's never been a secret to me. I did business with them. So, you know, the works when I attended the wedding. So it's not a big issue. All I know is that there is nothing that I have done on my part when I was in government to that can amount to impropriety, as it were, abusing my position of authority to do anything that is untoward. None of that happened. And if anybody says that happened, I challenge them today. I'm here. I'm not going to Dubai or anywhere. I'm right here. So if you have anything to say it in my face, put evidence on what you're saying, and stop these innuendos that are empty. So I'm here to respond. I met the Guptas many times, had curry with them, all of that, no issues at all. Not hiding that. What's the issue with that? You know? So.
But given that many people who actually met the Guptas say the Guptas wanted something from them, so you are saying here you've met them a number of times, it's common cause, it's public knowledge. So what is it that they probably wanted from you?
You must ask the Guptas. I don't know. They didn't. I wanted something from them. I wanted their business. So in my case, I wanted their business. I wanted to save jobs. And I did save jobs for temporarily up until I was overwhelmed by what happened. As you would have seen yourself, that everything conspired against what we're trying to do. And it's unfortunate that 500 people had to lose their jobs because of politics and all kinds of shenanigans that happened around the loss of 500 jobs. And the continual job loss in this country is actually a serious concern. It looks like these days losing jobs is nothing. And SABC, I see now about 1,000 odd people are going to be losing jobs. There's something is fundamentally wrong with what is happening. We really need to take a step back and see what is just going on in our country. I hear that Eskom is also intimating job losses. I hear that in the mines there are some 13,000 jobs that are going to be lost. I really think we need to take a step back and say what is going on. Why is it that the poorest, the most vulnerable people in this country are continuously put on the back foot and so on? So I really am perplexed as to what is happening. I was hoping that the new dawn was going to bring in a lot of hope. We came here with a lot of hope, but I must say I'm very worried about what is happening on the ground. The job losses are escalating at an exponential curve. This is the problem.
In conclusion, Mr. Manye, given that you know the Guptas and then they've been accused here of a number of things, so would you support the call that they need to come back and clear their name? And given that, you are saying in terms of your relationship with them, so there was nothing untoward. So would you think it's the right thing for them to come and speak for themselves?
The Guptas have got their lawyers. I think if you want to speak anything about the Guptas, I'm not their spokesperson, I'm not their proxy, so you must just direct your questions to their lawyers.
No, but I'm just saying, given that these are the people that you know, some people will speak about them from a distance, but you know them better.
Look, they've been provided opportunity to respond to this question. They have responded, they've raised their issues have been processed, a decision was made. I don't know what you want me to say.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Manye. So, Mr. Manye there, he will also give his testimony today. He's one of those people. I think Barbara Hogan will complete her evidence, and Mr. Manye will also speak. We also understand that the spokesperson for COPE, Dennis Bloem, will also give his evidence.
So quite a busy day indeed. Speaking about rebuttals, Mzwandile, the ANC has also reacted, saying their legal team and the legal team of the Commission are now working on finalizing submissions. And according to Zizi Kodwa, they want to rebut the notion that the ANC is on trial.
Absolutely. The SG, rather the former SG of the ANC, will probably be the one who would lead the team that will come here. Remember, the name of Mzwandile keeps coming up, and people really are getting interested, and they want to know what kind of role did the ANC play, and it will be an opportune moment for them to come here and really present their side of the story. And I would assume that version they would present will be interrogated by the interested parties. So this platform, Blaine, will help many people either to clear their name, to clarify certain issues, because South Africans want to know if there was indeed this state capture that everyone is speaking about.
So, okay, just to recap, we've heard about the issues around Transnet from Barbara Hogan. We heard about the issues around Eskom. What is she likely to say today?
We expect her to say something on the SAA and perhaps one or two other state entities that fell under her during that time. And I don't think her evidence will last long. Remember, the Transnet one took quite a bit, and the Eskom one took a while, but was interrupted by those power cuts. And I'm sure today we'll not be in that unfortunate situation where we'll have to adjourn prematurely.
So what about Dennis Bloem? What are you expecting from him?
Dennis Bloem, remember his name also did come up. I think Fikimento is one of the people that mentioned Dennis Bloem in terms of who she informed about the offer that had been given to her by the Guptas. So I think Dennis Bloem will then have the opportunity as well to present his side of the story. And when we spoke to him earlier this week, he did say he was under immense pressure. In fact, when he still was the chairperson of the Correctional Services Committee in Parliament, he says as far as he is concerned, there is the state capture. So he has the experience of that because he got put under in tremendous pressure by certain individuals. So he will also have the opportunity really to explain to the Commission, so who were those, what exactly were the issues that were involved that has led him to believe that that was part of what we call today the state capture.
Mzwa, I'm just interested to see behind you. Can you confirm, is that Duduzane Zuma behind you?
Yes, thanks for alerting me, so I hadn't seen him, but as you did indicate, of course, I did see that he is here. Remember, so his name was mentioned, and when he was mentioned, and then he applied to cross-examine Mzwandile Jonas. But as we know that Mzwandile Jonas is not going to be here today because he is abroad, and then he made that application to the Commission to say he may not be able to sit for the cross-examination today. Then his date was fixed for the 26th of November. So we have just seen Duduzane, so we will update you as the proceedings continue as to what sort of his role today, or he's just coming here to sit and observe, or there will be some issues that he will need to clarify. But as I'm saying, I think one of the difficulties, Blaine, is that the witnesses keep pulling out as a result, so it makes it very difficult to know who is on the list. As I was saying to you, for example, this week we're clear as to who was going to come and testify, but then there was an application yesterday. So those things keep changing. Even yesterday, I did have a word with Dennis Bloem, and then he was also not sure if it was going to be confirmed for today, but then we have since seen the statement from the Commission confirming that he indeed will take part. So seeing Duduzane Zuma, who really has been fingered by a number of people here, makes it very interesting.
I know the Deputy Chief Justice yesterday really urged the witnesses to keep to the dates that they were allocated. You know, according to the Commission's chair, part of the work of the Commission is to look into what environment existed, you know, that may or may not have provided fertile ground for state capture. Are you finding that there is a sense of progress being made here at the Commission?
There is some progress, I would say, Blaine, because we are, for example, this week we have not lost any day. So it does then indicate to you that there is some progress. Remember when this whole process started, I mean, it would start for 1 day and resume for and stop for about 3 or 4 days. But listening to what the judge said also yesterday, he said, I mean, he doesn't want us to be here for a number of years. So apparently, from what he's saying, there would be now a situation where when the date is fixed for the witness, those witnesses must come. Because if the witnesses get the date for the commission, but on the eve of their presentation, and then they are not able to do so. So it does affect the work of the commission. And I think the judge is starting to lose patience because he says he wants to get on with the job. I mean, the former Deputy Minister of Finance, Risi Jonas, had summons issued against him, but of course, because his legal rep was here, then those summons were then withdrawn. So you can already see that if the commission wants someone to appear, it will now go all the way to make sure that it gets that particular witness. There is some progress, but I would say not sufficient at this stage.
10 o'clock is the time. We'll check in with you a little later. That was SABC senior reporter Mzwandile Mbeje.